Liseberg is situated in the heart of Gothenburg, and with it being home to over 35 world-class attractions, there is no wonder it is so popular. However, today we're going to count down the top 10 rides at Liseberg. Starting off at number 10, we have FlumeRide, and no matter whether you are heading to the park on a hot Swedish day, or are just looking for another fun family log flume, then this is the ride for you. Similar to many of your classic log flume rides though, as soon as you have boarded the log, and for the wettest experience we would suggest the back, you will venture around many lush scenery pieces and get some pretty awesome views of the rides. Nevertheless, this is not all easy sailing, as on this log flume, not only do you have one, but a total of 2 drops, with the second one being 14 meters high, and definitely finishing off the ride with a splash. Get ready for takeoff, as for our number 9 spot, we have Aero Spin, and if you think you have what it takes to pilot your very own plane, you can jump aboard for an experience which, trust me when I say, you will never ever forget. Standing at a height of 35 meters above the park, just looking at the ride itself is incredible, with its many different planes flying throughout the air. And on ride does not disappoint either, because once you have made it to the top, you can control your very own plane. Therefore, if you want to flip upside down non-stop like a stunt pilot, you can do that. Or if you just want to chill out and enjoy the spectacular views across the park, well then, you can sure do that too. For our number 8 spot on our top 10 list, things are starting to become a lot more dizzy, as we have Mechanica, the park's star-shaped attraction, and similar to both a gyro swing as well as a top scan combined, on this 3-minute ride you and up to 29 other thrill seekers will get to board a ride which will then be rotated completely upside down by a humongous mechanical arm, but also at the same time be spun by a central gondola as well as your row of seats spinning around. And therefore, when taking all of this into account, as well as how crazy this ride looks at night, I think it is perfect at the number 8 position. It is time for our first roller coaster on the list, as for our number 7 spot we have Lisebergbanen, and despite this ride being a so-called family coaster, with it featuring everything from whip turns to airtime hills to even plenty of drops and helixes, this ride 100% packs a punch. Nevertheless, what I particularly love about this 1987 classic is that not only do you experience an incredibly fun layout, but you do all of this on an edge of a hill, meaning that you can get some pretty spectacular views too. And so in my eyes, a trip to Liseberg is nowhere near complete without a ride on Lisebergbanen. Who here love their good old childhood swing? Well, if so, then you have got to take a ride on our number 6 spot, Uppswinget, as it has taken your classic childhood swing to the next level. And here is how. Now of course, similar to your normal swing rides, once you have boarded and for the most petrifying experience possible, we would suggest facing away from the view. You will swing back and forth for the entirety of the ride. The only thing is that the ride goes 40 meters above the ground, as well as swinging at a 120-degree angle and travelling at a max speed of 80 kilometers per hour. And I think it is quite obvious to see that this will cause even the biggest thrill seekers in the group to put their hands in the air. Top 5, and coming in for this position we have no other then the park's intimate gyro swing, Loke. And therefore, before we do begin to talk about the ride itself, with this being a very common type of flat ride, if you're heading to the park on a busy day, then we would suggest riding the more unique attractions first. Nevertheless, if you do get a chance to ride, you will definitely not be disappointed with this more modern approach on your gyro swing, both rocking you back and forth to incredible heights, as well as spinning you around on a disc, providing an experience that neither you or your stomach will ever forget. If you are scared of heights, then skip to number 3. As our number 4 position, we have AtmosFear. And as you can probably guess by the name, this is not for the faint of heart. But nor is it your normal drop tower, as despite it rising you to a height of 100 meters before plummeting you back down to planet Earth, what makes the largest drop tower in Europe so awesome is the fact that they have now added VR to the ride, meaning that as you rise and drop, you will also be able to see a futuristic world full of aliens and robots, and you do not need to be a rocket scientist to know that it is both great but also very, very scary at the same time. Here we are at the top 3 rides at the park, and for our number 3 spot we have Valkyria. And wow, is this B&M dive coaster short but sure is sweet. However, first of all, I have got to talk about the theming, as with it being themed towards the Vikings, unlike many of the attractions at the park, from the moment you walk into the queue line to heading into the station building to riding for your 6th or 7th time, you will feel immersed in this Viking world. And on-ride does not disappoint either, with it featuring a 50-meter drop, tunnel section in aluminum, 0G roll, as well as a heartline roll too. How awesome is that? You can't have a theme park without a Woody, and Liseberg is no exception, as for our number 2 position we have Balder. And wow, is this ride amazing or what? Created by Intamin as one of their first world-class wooden coasters, just looking at this ride's 3,510 foot wooden layout full of some of the best elements ever created will instantly make you want to ride, and you should sure do that, as once you have made it to the top of the lift hill and then drop down that 70-degree first drop, you'll be raced around many smooth bank turns, tunnel sections and more intense airtime moments than I can count. And so, especially if you do get the back row, there is no doubt in my mind that this is a must do. We have made it to the number 1 spot, and for the best ride at the park, we have got no other than the one and the only Helix. And where do I begin when talking about this ride? As if I was going to talk about every great part, from the soundtrack to the elements to even the view itself, we would quite literally be here all day. But to start from the beginning, as soon as you have built up the courage to ride, queued up in the rather unique queue line and then boarded the ride itself, you will head straight into the action with a corkscrew, followed by, and get ready for it, an LSM launch from 0 to 62 miles an hour, another corkscrew, Norwegian loop, 0G roll, another launch, top hat, and an inline twist, all of which provides one of the best views from a coaster. And therefore, with all of this and so much more, including that famous night ride, I think it is very easy to see why this is the best ride at Liseberg. Thank you all for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.